Hello, my name is Michael Thomas. I'm a fashion designer based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm 22 years old and I'm hoping to be the next fashion star. So, just a little bit about me. Once again, I currently reside here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I attend the Art Institute of Philadelphia for fashion design. I am the CEO, founder, designer, head pattern maker, head PR, everything of my little company. It's called Faithful by Michael Thomas. It's a line that is more geared towards a woman who is in her late 30s, early 40s, a housewife who loves to go to events and loves to just get dressed, and that's who I designed for. What makes my vision different from others is that you have here a designer who is 22 years old, very young, up and coming, and designed as if he was designing back with Oscar de la Renta and Balenciaga and Yves Saint Laurent and you know Christian Dior, designers of that nature and the classics. And I'm big on classics, and I most of my pieces in anything I do would to me be considered a classic. And I love to make women who are in the ages of 30 to 40 feel beautiful again, and feel classy and sophisticated and confident in what they wear. I feel like that's most important with up and coming designers. I use a lot of different silhouettes, different fabrics, a lot of fabric manipulations, different techniques and details in a garment that would take a regular garment into an amazing. Yet worked for any manufacturers as of yet, or worked with any manufacturers as of yet. I normally do all of my production here in my own atelier. I do what you call made to order, where I'll make a collection, and if a woman wants to buy said piece in a collection, it would be made specifically for her body. So if she wants it in a size 10 or size 12 or maybe even a size 20, the size that was a size originally on the runway, a size 2, can be manipulated and changed to be for a size 20. Well, I'm currently in the process of building my brand, which is Faithful by Michael Thomas. The brand itself represents who I am 100%. It represents a woman who is poised, a woman who is positive and has a sense of strength. It also just represents just someone who is a go-getter and who always goes for what they want and always has a strong positive mentality in what they want. And that's one of the reasons why I myself created the little tiny city of Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. Me as a child, I was quiet yet open, nervous yet outspoken. I somewhat stayed to myself, but I always was online, looking at different fashion shows and different fashion designers, and always on Women's Wear Daily, and always, looking at Vogue magazine. That's where I did spend most of my time. I also took to the theater, and that was one of my biggest favorites. And as a child, I grew up in the theater and wanted to actually go to school for musical theater, which led me into loving fashion so much because I loved the costumes. And at the tender age of 13, I met a woman by the name of Valerie, who became my fashion mother, and she just taught me everything I needed to know about fashion, and who I am as a person, and who I am and who I was to her was a designer. My friends and family would describe me as Mr. Faithful himself, because of my go-getter attitude, because of the fact that I strive for perfection, and because also, oddly enough, because I'm my own worst critic. They look up to me. People who I admire actually look up to me, and they would say that I'm a positive, strong, outgoing, and free-spirited designer who just loves and breathes fashion 100% every day, every night. I would say that I handle stress with music. Whenever I'm going through stressful times in my life, stressful times with the industry, fashion, a client, I would just take it to music and listen to music. One of my biggest inspirations for music would be Lauryn Hill and John Legend and old school people like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and gospel legends like Kim Burrell. These are people who, when I'm feeling stressed with anything such as fashion, I go to just relieve myself from it. And yeah, that's what I would, that's what I would do. The way I handle criticism is I'm the person that takes criticism and use it as my next stage to success, as my next stage to growth. I love criticism. I get most of my criticism, honestly, from my fashion mother. Her name's Valerie, and whenever I make a garment, I think that it's finished. I think that it's perfect. It's the best garment that I've ever made, and I take it to her, and she would dissect it. She would take it apart with her eyes, and she would say, Michael, I see about 5 things that is wrong with this garment, and I need you to point them out for me. And once we go over them, it makes so much sense, and you need that in your life as a designer, as a creative person. You need someone to stand in and say, look, this is it's okay, but this is what you did. This is how you fix it, and try not to do it this way ever again. The fashion lines that I would say resemble mine would have to be at the top of my list. Oscar de la Renta, for his attention to detail and his attention to color and different silhouettes. I love what he does. Um, Christian Dior for his couture elements, Ralph Rucci for his attention to detail as well, and also the fact that Ralph Rucci, as a designer, he can create many different collections, whether it's resort, spring, fall, couture, and have the same color, but every single look has a different, unique look to it. And that's why I would say these 3 designers would be designers whose clothes resemble mine.